Hello everyone and welcome to the third report video. The sort of series, I guess, where I'm going through the reports of every single game in Kingdom Hearts where there is reports. So that's mainly Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, and of course Kingdom Hearts 3. Birth by Sleep is already up, as is number 1, so please do check those out. We find a few interesting things there. Less of lore-wise, but more of emotion-wise. That makes sense if you watch it. So please do. And this episode we are looking into the Kingdom Hearts 2 reports. I just want to clarify that I got incredibly confused in Kingdom Hearts 1 in the video, where I got a bit confuddled of whether this Ansem was Ansem the Wise or another Ansem, but I believe now that it's Ansem the Wise. It obviously just doesn't say Ansem the Wise, but I believe it is. So now going into here, the secret Ansem reports, it is still Ansem the Wise, so now I can go into this with that mindset, knowing that it is not the additional confusion of who I'm actually reading. But yeah, so Ansem the Wise in Kingdom Hearts 2 reports. Let's jump into it. So the secret Ansem's report 1. My efforts these many years have come to fruition, with the world I govern having become a paradise worthy of being called Radiant Garden. Nurtured by the pure water that is the source of life, fragrant flowers bloom in abundance, and the people face each day with hopeful smiles. But where there is light, darkness also lurks, of course. The greater the light, the greater the shadow becomes. As noticed in my earlier reports, I've read in the last video, I must solve the mystery of this darkness of the heart. This paradise depends on it. I shall perform an experiment to probe the depths of the heart. One of my own apprentices, good old Xehanort, has volunteered to be a subject. The young man has served me ever since I nursed him back from death's door some years ago. He had lost all of his memories at the time, but later showed remarkable intellectual curiosity and readily absorbed my teachings, gaining deep wisdom. Any mental immaturity is surely due to his young age. If I explore Xehanort's heart with psychological tests, I may be able to recall the past locked away within. My apprentice Evan has also shown great interest in Xehanort's memories. But is he really the right subject? Xehanort does indeed exhibit extraordinary talents. Too extraordinary. Perhaps they are even superhuman. Interesting. So, one of my apprentices, Xehanort, that's the young lad that we know. That's young Xehanort before he takes Ansem's name. So right, so this is where this is where it gets a bit complicated and where it loses a lot of people. So the old man Xehanort that we already know has been and gone, because obviously this is post Birth by Sleep, and that's already done. So the young Xehanort, who's the apprentice, is who we know as young Xehanort, who is Xehanort's. So Xehanort's what? Because is straight up Xehanort but young. Because Xemnas is Xehanort's nobody, and Ansem is, and the Heartless Ansem is Xehanort's Heartless. So the young Xehanort is just straight up Xehanort. It's not a Heartless, it's not a nobody, it's just Xehanort. Right? So then that's just a young Xehanort who then later on takes Ansem the Wise's name, Ansem, and then creates the Heartless and the Nobody to create Ansem the Heartless and Xemnas the Nobody? Or no, because isn't the Heartless and the Nobody created when Xehanort splits his heart and enters Terra? Is that not the case? So when Xehanort goes into Terra, he creates Xemnas, or he creates a Nobody. Not necessarily Xemnas yet, but he creates a Nobody and a Heartless. Then young Xehanort comes along and either ends up meeting the Heartless and the Nobody and says, "Hi, you're my Nobody and my Heartless, my name is Ansem." So then the Nobody goes, "Oh, I'll call myself Xemnas then." And the Heartless goes, "Well, my name is Ansem as well then." Or they decide it for themselves, and so like this is where it gets so confusing. So the apprentice that Ansem here is talking about, Xehanort, is just a young Xehanort, not a Heartless, not a Nobody. It's just Xehanort, right? I think. I'm pretty sure. Well, okay, I'm not pretty sure, but that's what my gut's telling me. I think. Again, please do let me know in the comment section. Help me fill in the gaps, because I'm taking in a lot of information here, or reading the reports. I believe that's right, but probably not. Well, let's carry on. Report 2. I have made a grave mistake. My study of the darkness of the heart began with a simple psychological test and quickly snowballed. Spurred on by my youngest apprentice Ienzo, I constructed a massive laboratory in the basement of my castle. Unbeknownst to me, my 6 apprentices then began collecting a large number of subjects on which to perform dangerous experiments into the darkness of the heart. So 6 apprentices being Xehanort, Ienzo, Dylan, Alias, Evan. Is that right? Xehanort, Evan, Dylan, Alias, Ienzo. Who am I missing? Break. As soon as I found out, I called my apprentices together and ordered them not only to cease their studies, but to destroy the results of their research thus far. What on earth was happening within the hearts of my 6 beloved apprentices? While pursuing the mystery of the darkness of the heart, could they of themselves have strayed into its depths? Yet I remain the most foolish of all for having begun these experiments. We are not meant to interfere with the depths of another heart, no matter what our reasons for doing so, and my error plunged me into despair. A visitor from another world soothed my dejected soul. A tiny king named Mickey came wielding a legendary key, the infamous Keyblade, said to bring both chaos and prosperity to the world. He was very knowledgeable on many topics, and we deepened our friendship as we conversed companionably. Upon his advice, I decided to review the data obtained at my basement lab. That is when I discovered the Ansem reports. Though they bore my name, the only one I had written was number 0. Apparently, he'd gone on to pen numbers 1 through 8 himself. Yes, the first subject in my foolish experiments. Wait. So they were the Heartlesses. Wait. What? Yeah, so 1 through 8. Wow. That's cool. So there's actually different people. So Ansem the Wise wrote Report 0, which is somewhere. But 1 to 8 was Ansem the Apprentice. Well, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 were Ansem the Wise. The only one I'd written was number 0. Apparently he had gone to pen numbers 1 through 8. So the only one he wrote was 0. But Ansem wrote 1 through 8. So why are there 13? Who wrote... Well, surely that's going to be Ansem the Wise. Because he met Mickey. The same can be as does the darkness. Is the caller. I will cast off and plunge into the depths of darkness. Was that Ansem the Heartless again? And then is that Ansem the White? I'm so confused. Now these reports belong to 2 people, but they only refer to a couple. Like, he wrote 0, which I don't even know what that is. And Ansem. I keep yawning. Ansem the Apprentice wrote 1 through 8. So who wrote the others? Maybe we'll find out. If you know, please help my brain heal and let me know down below. Because this is just... Please help. So report 3. Chaos affects not only this world but many other worlds besides. In the Ansem's reports, my apprentice Xehanort had written under my name. There you go. I found the records of his hideous experiments along with his hypothesis about the door and that had appeared out of the darkness in my basement. All living things have hearts, and all hearts hold darkness deep within. Worlds are no exception. If a world is a being, the heart it holds must be colossal. And the darkness at its core must be monstrous indeed. Huh. Right. Yeah. So I was right. So that's... So, right. So it's Xehanort. It's written by Xehanort, but just using Ansem's name. So is that where he takes his name? That's when Xehanort takes Ansem's name to write the reports. right? I don't know. Does Xehanort pass through that door in an attempt to contact that dark realm? No, not only Xehanort. It appears my other 5 apprentices, believing it was for the sake of research, stared deep into the darkness and were pulled into it. Evan, Ienzo, Braig, Dylan, and Alias, they've ceased to be human. I too have had everything taken away from me, banished to a hollow realm of nothingness. What is Xehanort hoping to gain with my pilfered existence? Right. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So that is where Xehanort takes his name. Gotcha. Will my people cease to smile? If the light of hope has been extinguished, I shall henceforth walk with darkness as a friend. Here in the realm of nothingness to which I have been relegated. Darkness in the midst of nothing. Darkness in zero. Thus I should be known as Diz. Huh, interesting. That's where Diz comes from. Darkness in zero. Well, the more you know. Discarding the stolen name Ansem, I'm going in search of revenge. Yep, so that's where he starts getting a bit but blinded, but crazy. Report 4. The distant days spent in that beautiful paradise are an illusion to me now. How long have I been here, banished in the realm of nothingness? It is only upon relying upon my anger and hatred. Oh my god. That I've been able to retain my sense of self here where all existence is nullified. My heart... does this happen to anyone else? I'm perfectly fine, but as soon as I sit down and talk into a microphone, I keep yawning. Does that happen to anyone else? Because this happens to me a lot, and I don't know why, and it confuses me. And it annoys me, because I'm trying to record, and I keep yawning. Let me know if this happens to anyone else. My heart is being overcome with hatred toward my apprentices, possessed by the darkness, and with the anger I feel for stupidly allowing myself to be betrayed. Is this darkness eating away at my heart? Yes. I cannot continue to idle away my time here. What are Xehanort and the others attempting to do? See? Who yawns like this? Who yawns as often? I must unravel the mystery of these Ansem's reports, intercept my apprentices, and defeat them. That is my mission, the only way to repay the world for my sins. Those beings who lack hearts, the heartless, must be the key. The darkness of the heart made flesh. Cursed shadows who not only lack hearts, but multiply by seizing hearts from any and all living things. Where have they come from, and where are they going? Where have they come from? Cotton Eye Joeing. 3 elements combined to create a life, a heart, a soul, and a body. But what of the soul and body left behind when the heart is lost? When the soul leaves the body, its vessel, life gives way to death. But what happens when the heart leaves? A being does not perish when its heart leaves its body. The heart alone disappears into the darkness. There is little time. If I remain in this realm much longer, I will certainly learn these answers the hard way. One more sentence. My heart is already a captive of the darkness. Yeah, so he's really starting to lose it at this point. Well, like he's not crazy, he's just blinded. Similar, once again, to Xehanort in the Birth by Sleep reports. But yeah, kind of good intent again, but bad way of doing it. Report 5. In this realm where all existence has been disintegrated, I have just barely managed to preserve my sense of self by continuing to think and to write. If it is a place where even time has lost all meaning, eternity is but a moment here. I must make haste. Certainly their plans are already underway. The Heartless must be the key to unravelling this mystery. The 6 traitors were operating a laboratory that churned out those cursed shadows. Not only did they generate pure blood heartless from living hearts, but they then used those heartless to synthesize artificial versions of the creatures as well. These synthetic heartless bore insignias and were called emblems. What? Pure blood or emblem? These heart... I can't get a sentence out. Pure blood or emblem, these heartless act only to fulfill their instinctive needs. They single-mindedly detect hearts and swarm around them. So, pure blood and emblem. So, pure blood being like actual, authentic heartless, and emblem being the synthetic created ones. But the original heartless don't bore insignias, just emblems. Let's have a look. Emblem heartless versus pure blood heartless. Yeah, other images. Yeah, there you go. So, like the shadow, for example, doesn't have an emblem. Right, okay. Yeah, so these are the natural, these are the pure bloods. And these are the created ones, or every single heartless with an emblem are created ones. What's that one? I don't recognize that one. That's concept art. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Where was I? A human's commands would be ineffective. The heartless would easily steal the human's heart and use it to increase their own ranks. But what if an even stronger heartless was giving the orders? If he cast aside his own soul and body and became a heartless, wouldn't he be able to control the otherwise intractable heartless? Furthermore, wouldn't he be planning to make use of the creature's instincts? If the heart-seeking heartless have their sights on a larger, more powerful heart, their ultimate goal is crystal clear. The largest heart in existence, the heart of the world. This is all conjecture, but it would seem he is utilizing the heartless in his search for a path leading to the heart of the world. So let's see, that's what Ansem does. The Ansem is control of the heartless. My choice to befriend darkness here in the midst of nothingness was a sound one. The moment I stared straight into a calm heart, neither rejecting darkness nor fearing it, I gained a newfound power. A superhuman power. The power of darkness. It is likely Xehanort and the others were enraptured by this power, eventually becoming its prisoners. I do not intend to allow my heart to be devoured by the darkness as they did, of course. With this new power, I uncovered a corridor of darkness that connects the realm of nothingness to the outside world. While it is still difficult to come and go as I please, my banishment is now a thing of the past. To deceive Xehanort and my apprentices, I first used my power to change form before returning to the realm of light. As I suspected, Xehanort had become a Heartless. Under my name, he commanded other Heartless in quests to snatch away the heart of many different worlds. Yep, I was right. At the centre of the heart Xehanort has stolen was Kingdom Hearts, which attracts tremendous darkness to itself and attempts to send any and all matter back into its depths. Going back, so him changing form, as in him wrapping himself in the cloth, him becoming Diz. Is that him changing form? Or is that something else? I think that's what he means. I think. Yeah, maybe. The other 5 have disappeared. Have they become heartless like Xehanort, or did they vanish after Xehanort exploited them? I became familiar with an unusual entity, or pursuing the truth. It is the soul and body that remain when a being loses its heart. When a heartless is born, those entities disappear from the realm of light, to be reborn as entirely new beings, in a completely different realm. So, I became familiar with an unusual entity. What entity? Ansem the Wise. Let's see if it knows what I'm talking about. An entity shrouded in mystery. So it kind of knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, Justice Ways and manages to conceal it. The true Ansem once studied hearts and the heartless, but soon ceased his research. Diz. An entity shroud. So, Diz. She's saying that Diz is the entity. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, Report 7. While beings born of darkness and those lacking hearts may find them convenient, it is dangerous for others to make much use of the corridors of darkness. Darkness erodes the heart. In search of a place to proceed with my research and planning away from prying eyes, I found myself in Twilight Town. It is a quiet village, forgotten in the chasm between light and darkness. I situated myself in the basement of an abandoned mansion, standing beyond the woods. Yeah, I know that mansion. Oh, that's sweet. My underground research resulted in one new discovery after another. When a heartless is born, the body and soul left behind are reborn into this world as a different being. They possess different intentions than their heartless brethren, and while it is unclear what these sentient things are after, it would appear they are responsible for much bedlam in the world. My erstwhile friend, the king, and his subjects, along with the hero wielding the Keyblade, are battling the heartless, even as a new threat approaches. That would be Sora. Not the threat, the hero. This new threat, they've given themselves a fitting name, I suppose. These non-beings, nobodies. A greater number of nobodies have lost human form, as have the heartless. Yet the nobody born of someone with a strong heart retains its shapes, with but the faintest visible changes. It appears my betrayers have retained their human forms as nobodies, and are gathering more followers in the hopes of furthering a new scheme. Organization 13, formed of 13 nobodies with my betrayers at its core, has divided into 2. They are said to be carrying out some sort of research. Seeking to uncover the plans of this organization, I've decided to head for where 6 of its members have gathered, towering over the outer limits of the realm between darkness and light. Castle Oblivion. Castle Oblivion is a whole nother can of worms. So, right, Organization 13 has been created. This is where we are in the story now. Okay, yep. That's basically just a lot of lore there. Report 8. It appears that I have been too distracted by the behaviour of Xehanort and his cohorts and the events occurring in their vicinity. My friends' struggle to protect the realm of light from the threat of Heartless is now over, with Xehanort's Heartless, going by the name Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, defeated at last. Wow, that's a big jump. So, Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, is now dead. Okay, that was a big jump. The other wielder of the Keyblade, this hero, travelled from world to world, sealing up keyholes and laying Heartless low. That's Sora. Meanwhile, the king who had dived into the realm of darkness worked with the Keyblade-wielding hero to close the door to Kingdom Hearts, from the realms of both darkness and light, thus holding off the threat of tremendous darkness. That's closing Kingdom Hearts. But there are still a great number of Heartless afoot, and Organization 13 and the Nobodies continue to be active in the shadows. Indeed, the world is still a very dangerous place. We must find a way to do battle with these enemies. Thus I will both make amends and have my revenge. It is for this reason I infiltrated Castle Oblivion. It consists of 13 floors above and 12 floors below ground, with the contents of its white rooms transforming in response to its visitors' memories. Organization 13 was conducting experiments on memory here. The subject in these experiments, a girl named Namine, appeared to possess extremely unusual abilities. Were they attempting to derive something from these powers? Refusing to be distracted by Organization 13, I'd returned to my own secret research when a new visitor appeared at the castle today. It was Sora, the Keyblade-wielding hero who had defeated Ansem and his companions. Deep underground, the stench of darkness arose. All the players are coming together, it would seem. Cool. That sounds badass. Also, Castle Oblivion. Yeah, Castle Oblivion is not the land of departure. It's the same place. So now Ansem the Wise is there. Okay. Number 9. I should have expected nothing less from a Keyblade-wielding hero. Sora and friends defied the machinations of Organization 13 and rescued Namine. Namine was a witch who controlled the memories of others. Most likely these powers were achieved through a special process when she was born. Namine is a nobody, created when a young girl's heart left her body. Kairi. Yet she has no corresponding Heartless. This is because the young girl, in this case, was a princess. Kairi, a resident of Radiant Garden over which I had ruled, was one of the 7 princesses that uphold the realm of light. With no darkness in her heart, Kairi produced no Heartless, and instead of vanishing, her body remained in the realm of light. In other words, both the nobody called Namine and the Heartless, proof of a lost heart, are extremely unstable beings who lack the bodies needed to produce a nobody. Therefore, they also lack Kairi's memories. One reason for this may be that Kairi's heart did not return to the darkness when separated from her body, but rather migrated to another vessel, deep within Sora. That is, Namine is an alter ego of Kairi who has directly interfered with Sora's heart. Could this be why Sora and those hearts are connected to him were able to have their memories controlled? She is a non-being in the truest sense of the world, having not even become a nobody, and with nowhere left to go, she is but the most fleeting of shadows. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Everything we more or less knew there. Report 10. Sora went to sleep in order to recover the memories he had lost in Castle Oblivion. It would take quite some time to bring back all of the memories he had created in his lifetime, but Organization 13 held sway over Castle Oblivion. Sora would need to be kept someplace more secure. I persuaded Namine to move the slumbering Sora to Twilight Town for safekeeping. Namine. As I have written before, she is a most unusual being. Born to the same process as a nobody, but lacking virtually all elements of a nobody. Perhaps she continues drawing in hopes of capturing that which she lacks, the memories of others, especially Sora. I have arrived at a hypothesis. I believe that Namine was born as a special type of nobody when Sora attacked himself with the Keyblade. causing his and Kairi's hearts to leave their bodies simultaneously. Namine emerged as Kairi's nobody, but the body and souls necessary to exist as a nobody belonged to Sora. When a person's heart is stolen, a heartless is born with no sense of self, and the body and soul left behind give rise to a nobody. But what if one willingly releases one's heart from one's body? Sora and Xehanort retained their selfhood even after becoming heartless. Then there are Kairi and Namine. Kairi was exceptional for having had no darkness within her heart. Also exceptional was that her heart, once freed, migrated to a new vessel, Sora. The combination of the two theoretically unlikely exceptions may be behind this anomaly. There are matters I must attend to while Sora is sleeping. A new ally has appeared on the scene, Riku. Right. So there's a lot of sort of attempt of explaining why Namine is Namine. Which is basically because Kairi had no darkness, so Namine didn't become a heartless, and so didn't become a nobody in the normal way. And also because rather than Kairi's heart like basically disappearing or becoming something else, it then went to Sora, and basically just the two anomalies was enough to create Namine. Maybe. So that explains why Namine can do what she does. But why does she look the way she does? Like, is it... Because obviously she has Kairi's face. But, like, why is she blonde? Is that purely just a symbolistic method of showing that she's light, basically, that she was made by someone who has no darkness? Maybe that kind of sounds like something Nomura would do. I don't know, maybe. Report 11. I was reunited with an old friend at Castle Oblivion, but was unable to disclose my identity. If he knew the situation, he would likely try to stop me from carrying out my revenge. As much as I would dearly love to converse with him as in the old days, it is now but a hopeless dream. My friend has been fighting in the realm of darkness. Most likely he found his way there through Traverse Town. His friend being Mickey, I believe. Like Castle Oblivion, that village also rests in the cleft between light and dark. It consists of the remnants of worlds whose hearts have been stolen by the Heartless. It is where those who have barely escaped the destruction of their world eventually find themselves. This realm between is quite unstable, with corridors of darkness appearing from time to time. Wherever a world disappears, some of its inhabitants must arrive here through these corridors. Surely Sora travelled these same corridors of darkness when he first came to Traverse Town. It seems my friend, fighting in the realm of darkness, appeared in Castle Oblivion through a corridor of darkness constructed by Organization 13. My new ally Riku also effected his return via one of these corridors. He swore to me he would give his all for his best friend Sora. In fact, Sora's memories had been slow in return. Thus I have asked Riku to bring me another Sora, his nobody. Sora is indispensable if I am to achieve my goal. I require the Keyblade-wielding hero to fly through the realm of light and defeat Organization 13. His nobody, of course, being Roxas. Roxas. That's how Diz says it. So, yeah, a lot of just lore stuff that we know. Let's carry on. Report 12. 2. Let's start again. Report 12. Apart from Namine, nobody's retained their memories of their time as humans. But Sora's nobody, Roxas, has lost Sora's memories. This is likely because Sora's time as a Heartless was short, having recovered his heart and returned to his human form soon after leaving behind Roxas, his nobody. It would seem Roxas is much like Namine. Namine is Kairi's nobody, but came into being via Sora's body and soul. Okay. Likewise, Roxas is Sora's nobody, but was left behind because Sora's Heartless regained human form using Kairi's heart instead of his own. Wait. What? So Roxas is much like Namine. Namine is Kairi's nobody, but came into being via Sora's body and soul. Yeah, because he was the one that split. Likewise, Roxas is Sora's nobody, because but was left behind because Sora's Heartless regained human form using Kairi's heart instead of his own. Right. Okay, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm just gonna roll with that and maybe understand it at a later date. It may be that Sora's memories are slow to return because the heart of him that is Roxas is still lacking. I must convert Roxas into data and return him to Sora. As a member of Organization 13, it was exceedingly difficult to bring Roxas in. Having lost to Roxas once, Riku laid everything on the line and used the power of darkness in their second battle, only just managing to bring Roxas back with him. But Organization 13 grows ever nearer. Here, Twilight Town is where Roxas was reborn as a nobody. This is where Roxas first encountered Organization 13 and joined its ranks. They are bound to search this place thoroughly. First, I shall convert all of Twilight Town into data, and construct a world duplicate in Sora's memories. I shall place Roxas within that world to live out his days and regain those memories. With little time. The organization's schemes must be making steady progress as well. So yeah, that's the world duplicate that we know, the data world, nothing new there. Report 13. Tomorrow, Sora awakens. My long and drawn out revenge is nearing its end. Xehanort, who took everything away from me. Though, as a Heartless he is no more, as the leader of Organization 13, his ambition once again is to capture Kingdom Hearts, the most colossal heart of all. His Heartless had attempted to draw out the great darkness of Kingdom Hearts, created from the hearts of all worlds. His nobody, however, is now almost finished gathering human hearts to be assimilated into Kingdom Hearts as well. The fool! Only one mystery remains. How did Xehanort manage to open the door that appeared in the basement of my castle? No. Any theory posited now, when everything is nearing completion, would be meaningless. Roxas, Ansem, Namine, they defy all logic, yet there they are. Singular exceptions of the rule. The theories proposed by me in the Organization 13 have been blown to pieces by a handful of strong-hearted individuals. Sora, Kairi, Riku. Yes, Riku. Though his heart has his weaknesses, making it prone to darkness, he found support in the hope he had discovered beyond suffering. This hope allowed him to stand his ground and turn the darkness in his heart from an enemy into his greatest weapon. When all this is over, it is my fervent hope that he will be able to return with Sora to his island. If I can, I should hope to return to Radiant Garden, to look once more upon the beautiful water, the lovely flowers, and the hopeful smiles of my people. Dear King, my friend, I believe that at some point in time you will come across these, my truthful accounts. How I wish I could have chatted to you again. I was a fool, obsessed with revenge. Forgive me. Oh, bless him. That's kind of sad. This music as well. No, that's... Yeah, I don't know. Again, similar to the Birth by Sleeps and One. It's a lot of less of lore, although there was some mind-blowing moments in there that I need to sort of ponder over. There's a lot of like feeling behind it. Sort of explaining a lot of his like intent and his end goal and his hopes and his dreams, and yeah, I don't know. It's really nice to hold out these characters, especially someone like Ansem the Wise, who you don't really see too much of, and who's always been sort of this quite like all-knowing being. It's interesting to see some emotion behind that. But yeah, a lot of the lore we already knew, but I feel like that's going to be a recurring thing. I feel like it's going to be the same with Kingdom Hearts 2. There's going to be a lot of this happens, then this happens. But in between that, it should also be the same with some possible emotions and like thoughts and feelings behind it. And I think that's just even more interesting. Like if it was just the lore, then it would be incredibly boring, because obviously we already know that. But the fact that they sort of sprinkle in some emotions behind it is really nice. So I don't know, should be it's really interesting. So next up, or sort of lastly, is Kingdom Hearts 3 that I'm probably most excited for, because apparently my friend Radia, who did the podcast with me, says there's quite a bit of meat in those reports that I'm missing out on, and that bugs me because I hold myself quite highly to knowing this lore. So next time will be Kingdom Hearts 3 reports. Until then, thanks for watching and have a great day.